Hi guys, and welcome to another video, and this one's a bit different, and the idea of this one is to try and find ways to trigger what is the final boss of Bloodborne. Depends on how you play it. It could be the second last boss of Bloodborne, but it's one of the very final bosses of Bloodborne, Gehrman, so obviously there's certain things you need to do in order to fight him. But there's also a way in which you can actually trigger the fight in a different kind of way, and one such way to do it is to actually throw molotovs over the wall. And the best way to do this is just kind of stand where I'm standing here and then just chuck a few molotovs over the wall. And it's a bit tricky at first, it takes a few goes to try and get right, but once you do it, what you can then do is you can just run into the boss area and then just up to Gehrman, and that should trigger the boss fight scene. So
Dear, oh dear. What was it? The hunt? The blood? Or the horrible dream?
another way I tried to actually trigger the fight was to use pebbles, and this actually turned out to be much harder than to try and use the molotovs, because I think directionally it was just tricky to try and lob them at him. So what I actually did instead was just resort to going into the boss area and just chuck pebbles at him, and even that wasn't that easy either because I kept missing him. After so many attempts I hit him here. Yeah, and it finally triggers the boss cutscene. And the last way you can trigger the fight I'll show here is that if you choose the submit your life ending, there's a brief window before it moves to the cutscene, and in that brief moment what you can do is you can actually strike Gehrman's wheelchair, and if you do that, that will trigger the refuse ending, and that way it will trigger Gehrman's fight scene. So that's another way you can trigger the fight, and yeah, it's quite good fun to actually experiment and try these different methods of triggering Gehrman's fight.
Farewell, my keen hunter. Fear the blood. Dear, oh dear. What was it?
So that's it guys, hope you enjoyed this one, and yes, just thought it would be fun to actually kind of experiment with the different ways to trigger Gehrman's boss fight, and I'll see you in the next one.